Salty Runback Week 2. We just got done with Week 2 of the PMA LCS, I believe, right? Or no, Week 3 of the PMA LCS. I'm crazy.
Week 2.
Yeah,
we got done with Week 2 of PMA LCS.
Yeah, we're going into Week 3 now.
Okay, gotcha.
I don't have time, so that's going to be a theme that you guys are going to learn throughout the rest of the Salty Runback split. But to look at our standings, if I can get to the right tab here. So standings as they are, Shenanigans is holding the first place spot with Top Lane Wonders tied for first. Dogwater Gaming, Lost Chapter, Dinner Roll, Brahms OnlyFans Accountant, Flirty Frank's Fudge Factory, Team Silver Mechanics are all tied for third place. And then Boom What Up and Little John Big Peters are right out the bottom in a quote-unquote
Boom What Up.
So nothing too shaky happened. We had some 2-0s, we had some 1-1s, we had a little bit all over the place going on this last week. But to get into our review of last week, guys, starting with you, Josh, how did your player to watch last week do?
So my player to watch last week actually is an interesting situation. My player to watch last week was Cornstar. TLC went down 0-2 to TLW, which, I mean, TLW is a good team. But Cornstar was having internet issues in game 1, and I'm getting some echo from someone.
There you go.
Headphones. Put on headphones.
Oh, I need to go get this. I'll get them after I finish my thing. TLC, Cornstar was having internet issues in game 1, disconnecting. I didn't get a chance to watch the game back yet. But I heard he was having some difficulties, which obviously doesn't help. And then I ended up filling in for Cornstar game 2. So Cornstar didn't play, so there wasn't really much to watch other than myself. I played Corky.
Did you play mid?
Pretty decent. It was a hard game for the whole team. I was doing pretty good. We were able to live a little bit longer. I think I could have carried some because Corky just hard scales. But yeah, so that was Adrian, watching Adrian this week. Didn't get the chance to watch the game back yet, but he had technical difficulties and it was hard for him to play the game. It was hard for him to play the game without even the game itself being hard. Okay, I'm gonna go grab headphones.
Have fun.
Fair enough. There we go. Sorry, I'm having to finagle things because apparently I'm the one that's causing the feedback loop here. But Ryan, who was your guy to watch last week and how did they do?
Holy shit, that washing hands guy is insane. He was my player to watch last week. He was so good. Screwed my predictions this week, so fuck you, Wilson. Popped off on Lee Sin. Was so good on Lee Sin. It was like double-digit kills. And played Vi in the second game. Was not as good on the Vi, but he wasn't on Lee Sin. The Lee Sin was like out of his mind crazy. So much so that I think you could put hot take of the week, guys. Hot take incoming. I think Washington is a top 3 player in the league right now. Dude played out of his mind. Hard carried the first game, and really put Boom in the dirt. And then in the second game, understood how to take a step back. And yeah, washing hands. You are clicking so hard, John.
You were clicking over there, buddy.
My keyboard's just really loud. I'm sorry.
No one's going to hear my fucking prediction or my player to watch review. They're going to be like, wow, Josh has fucking, what are they called? What are those like fancy keycaps called? Now, if they're fancy, you wouldn't hear them.
Mechanical keyboards or whatever they are. But Justin, who were you watching last week? And how
I was watching the computer, the Peter Kim, put your Peters in chat. He kind of got rolled. So the way it was explained to me, again, the Salty Runback.
I don't know who
the
did
Salty
that.
Runback, me being here, same thing happened last year. I pick a player to watch and I don't watch them. So I see a scoreline of 2-3-1, game 1, 3-2-2, game 2. The way it was explained to me, the rest of the map was losing and you're playing ADC. So what can you do? I still believe in him. I still think he's one of the better players in the league. Obviously, if he can kind of get around his team or have his team play in with him, I don't know what I'm getting at, but basically, like, Bro, come
His
on.
team ends with him.
Don't end with them.
Have
How
them
about
play as a more cohesive unit around Kim Peter.
There we go. There we go. There we go. Just
Freudian slip there, huh?
play around your carry. You know, I know that team's a bunch of supportive players. I think if they can play around Kim Peter, they can really pop off. But not a great week for him. I still believe.
If I'm on mute button there, and let me pull up my my thing from last week because I had my own teammate because I wanted to be lazy and not do the Salty Runback thing that we did last season, where we picked a player to watch and we didn't watch him until later. But my player to watch was Fudgy, and that's because this is going to be honestly like the third time that all of F5 has really played as a 5-stack. So I was really interested to see how Fudgy was going to click with everybody on the on a stage, really. And Fudgy had a very good series. 4-0-10 game 1, 5-2-7 game 2. He did an excellent job of tracking Neil the Steel throughout the jungle, fed us all the information that we love to have. Kind of, I think throughout game 1, he maintained a CS lead over Neil the Steel and kind of held a tempo advantage throughout the matchup. And then in game 2, he sacrificed a little bit of the CS just to be more of a facilitator. But my man's he did what he had to do to help us all really shine, and it was really nice to see him come through and all of it click.
That man's Warwick is gross.
Yeah,
It is gross. Like I streamed the second game. I've talked to him about it like 3 times already since that game. That man only missed 1 ulti the whole game, and like it's disgusting with the Galio. He just ults in and then bang, smack him on the face.
yeah, there were some. I'm gonna pat myself here. I think some draft diff came through on that one. Don't know who's draft planning for F5 this week. I'm gonna talk about myself. I don't know who's draft planning for F5 this week, but he did a good job. But that was my player to watch. Fudgy did a great job. So as far as players to watch for next week, though, I've got another jungler on the list, and this time it's gonna again be a player that's gonna be in a game that I'm playing in. But this time it's gonna be Fred, Syracuse, and I'm interested to see how Fred has the bounce back week. You, Justin, hopefully can help him achieve all of the 2-0 dreams that they have. But he showed strong in week 1. I'm interested to see how they're going to back in week 2 because I know he's the optimist kind of person. He's always going to come up with something spicy. I think they'll evaluate what went wrong and they'll see how they can fix it for week 3. But you bet your ass I'm gonna make that a difficult time. So Ryan, who are you watching for week 3?
It always good as soon as I take a bite of pizza.
Yeah.
Mine is also in my game to watch this week. Also, door game at 5. I went with Frank. Had to get the top hat. He's a player that I haven't actually like played a lot with or really interacted with all that much. Obviously he's a busy dude. But I was really, really impressed with his Galio. And I want to see that translated to other champions. I think you guys played a very supportive comp in the second game. You guys really facilitated for the man with the mustache. And I just something about the way he played really stood out to me. I like the way he talked about the game in post game. I like the way he captains. I'm just like really, really intrigued by the way he's playing. And if Fred is smart, he's not going to let that Galio through again. And I want to see what Frank pulls out of his top hat because it is going to be, in my opinion, I think he could push to be one of the better mid laners for this split. I mean, obviously we talked about Bear, we talked about Cornstar, but I think, man, when he's on his game, Frank is knocking, chasing their heels, and I want to see him take that step. He's got a good matchup against Zepho this week. Zepho laning in a different role than he's used to, though, a very accomplished mid laner himself. And I want to see him take advantage of that because as much as I love you, Jake, ADCs can only take you so far.
This is very true.
And having a mid laner feeling strong can definitely be a boon to your team. So, Panic at the top hat, F5.
Well, Justin, how far is your AD carry play going to carry you?
Hey, I'm looking forward to this match, dude. It's been a while since I got to be on the opposite end of the lane of good old T-Tones right there.
We've been side by side more often than we've been against each other the past couple seasons.
Very, very excited, and I'm excited to. I mean, I know how Jake plays ADC because obviously he played it last mini split, but I'm really excited to see how far I've come in the role. So that's. I mean, it's a match to watch. It's not my match to watch, but it's going to be a match to watch.
You're welcome.
But so are you watching yourself this week?
I am not watching myself this week. I am watching somebody who ran me over last week, and his name is Maye. So obviously, Maye is part of the one of the two teams that are undefeated. I don't want to say single-handedly because other players have pop-off opportunities, but he almost single-handedly carried Shenanigans to both of those 2-0s. He's boasting a 15.8 KDA right now with 75% KP, something like that. So he's over the map. He's carrying his team, and it's gonna be a fun match. Going into who do they play this week? They play Washing Hands team. Boom. What up, Washing Hands?
No, not Washing Hands. They played Boom.
They played. No, they
team.
played Boom. They played this next week.
No, they played Boom this week.
What?
They played you last week.
Oh, what? Hold on.
Justin.
They played Boom.
Remember when we were talking?
Never mind. I joked. It's not.
You literally
Boom.
said in the beginning of your segment.
I don't know.
I'm
sorry.
Who ran me over last week.
Okay,
last
yeah.
They played Boom.
Okay, so they played Boom this week. That's gonna be El Shaka unless they make some changes. For some reason, I had in my head that they was playing Washing Hands team. When that happens, look forward to it. I don't know what week it is, but that's gonna be a fun match. Anyway,
I'm gonna change my player to watch now.
Anyway, I don't think that stat line's gonna change. I think Shenanigans going into Boom What Up. I think that his stat lines are just gonna be those stat lines. So
Josh,
he'll continue his dominance.
Okay, Josh, do you know what week we're on? Who's playing?
We're on week 3.
Sorry, it's been a long day.
That's my game manager.
I better know. I'm fucking in charge.
It's been a long day.
All right, so who you got? Who you watching?
Me?
Yeah.
Are we on me?
We're on
me. I'm watching our favorite Egg Boy this week, the Eggman himself, Coach Egg Boy. He had a massive pop-off performance in the combines, showing carry potential from multiple lanes, multiple different champions. And so far this season in weeks 1 and 2, his performance hasn't been exceptional. We haven't seen the same kind of performance we saw in week 1 and week 2. I think part of that was the Boom's overall just map control and map pressure. And Egg Boy has been facing lane opponents that have been difficult for him to take total dominance of. I mean, Nate, who he played this week, literally Nate, who he played this week in lane, is a strong laner and is a good player and is very aware of like his own strengths and weaknesses. So not the easiest matchup to abuse, especially some of the champion, especially like the champion matchups that he had. He played against the Syndra. I forget what he played. I think it was Talia against the Syndra.
Talia.
And then something else. And the Talia just kind of ran him over. Or the Syndra, the Syndra kind of ran over Egg Boy on the Talia after Syndra was able to get like a kill off in another lane from a roam. Or she got the triple kill with a really good scout of the week. It was a really good scout. It was a good team fight by Nate's team.
Don't gas Nate up. He's not your player to watch.
I mean, I like Nate though. I want to gas up Nate. Nate, if you're watching, you my boy. But this week, they're facing Shenanigans, who is the number 1 team, tied with the other 4-0 team. My mind is not working.
Top Lane Wonders.
Top Lane Wonders, tied with Chase. Shenanigans and Chase are tied for first place right now. Boom is facing one of those teams as one of the 204 teams. And I think a lot of what we're going to have to see in order for Boom to take a game from Shenanigans, which I think is possible, is going to be around how Eggy can play and if Eggy can make an advantage for himself and then work towards carrying this team. I know they have some things in mind for how to adapt from what we saw from them the first 2 weeks, but I want to see some synergy between jungle and mid, and I want to see Eggy take control of the game from the mid lane, or if he roams, where he roams.
All right, so there are players to watch. So all you guys that had just a little bit of shit dumped on you, take notes and get ready to clap back in this this upcoming week. As far as predictions go, I'll start with mine. I've got the games of Boom versus Shenanigans going into an 0-2 favor of Shenanigans. Reasons being, because this is also my games to watch. Knowing my boys on Boom, I know what their captain's like when he's feeling a little bit of pressure. I know the sweat, and I think Grant is sweating. I don't know if he's got it figured out. I imagine he's probably thinking role swaps or something of that nature to try to mix things up, and I don't know if that's the solution. But it is what it is, and I'm going to be interested to see how they overcome themselves, basically, in this next week, to see if they can scrap into a 1-1 situation, because I don't think they pull off the 2-0 this week. But erring on the side of they ain't got it figured out, I'm going to give it an 0-2 or 2-0 in favor of Shenanigans. But for the rest of the week, I've got DWG versus TLW as a 1-1. I've got Roll versus F5 as a 1-1. I don't like giving my own team teams 2-0s, even though I'm really confident in our abilities. But I've got Little John versus Big Peters versus Bofa as an 0-2 for Bofa. And then I've got TSM versus TLC as a 1-1. Justin, what are your predictions?
Yeah, right on. So you and I have the same game to watch this week. It's going to be Boom versus Shenanigans. I know Boom is up to something. I won't say what, depending on when this airs, but they are up to something. Despite that, though, I still think Shenanigans is the better team. So I think they have a 2-0 over Boom. For the rest of the games, though, I have DWG going 2-0 over TLW. I have Roll doing 2-0 over F5, because I do believe in our abilities. Jake. I have Bofa 2-0ing Little John's Big Peters, and then I have a 1-1 TSM TLC.
All right, Josh, what are you looking like for predictions?
I also have a 2-0 for Shenanigans versus Boom in favor of Shenanigans. I think someone said it either earlier during when we were recording or before we started recording that Mai is probably one of the top three. I'd say at least top five, if not top three players in the league. And we've seen already, and not even just in this season, but in past seasons, that Maya is capable of solo carrying games and just winning games by himself, regardless of who else is on the map. I have DWG versus TLW being a 1-1. I have Roll versus F5 being a 1-1. I have Little John Big Peters versus Bofa being a 1-1. And then I have TSM versus TLC, which is my match to watch this week, being a 1-1 as well. I think TLC have something to prove for themselves, being a strong team but not making the best showing last week. Adrian having some technical difficulties, and the Cornstar having some technical difficulties, having to drop out very last minute for game 2. But I think TSM also, with their very good performance last week, with Washing Hands making his debut, I think we'll really be seeing a good battle of carries. The other thing to watch out for this game specifically is that Tambourine King is going to be absent because of some travel purposes, which we knew was the case before the season started, that he was going to be missing a few weeks. I don't forget exactly how many. But as one of the top players on this team, the first round draft pick for TSM, It'll be interesting to see how the sub situation, whoever ends up filling in for Tambo, affects this team that has only had 1 week so far of playing with their actual roster, with Washing Hands missing the first week.
Well, I know that sub's not going to be me. Still not salty. Anyway, Ryan, give me your saltiest take.
My takes are actually a little less salty, maybe a little more measured this week. Boom Shenanigans. I have a 1-1 in Boom Shenanigans. That might be me holding out hope for my own boys. I don't know, man. I think it's one of those things you watch them play, and it's like there's something missing. I don't quite know what it is. I don't know what to tell you. There isn't an answer. You're not getting the play out of the top side of the map that you expected. And, you know, you have a bot lane that has been frankly mismatched in the last couple of games. But with that said, those are the kinds of problems that just, like, one day it is just figured out. Like, it isn't something that progresses. Like, one day they're either going to wake up and be able to play League of Legends together, or it's going to just be misery. I'm hoping that week is this week. I'm baffled at MyA's first 2 weeks, but all of us are very familiar with MyA's alter ego, Maye, Murder Ye, if you know him by that name. And I think maybe this week Murder Ye comes out. Maybe Margarita Maye comes out. You never know. Inconsistency is something there, and I'm pulling for him. I hope he pulls through.
I want to hang out with Margarita, man.
DWG and TLW. I just seen 2-0 for DWG. I'm waiting for the bubble to bust on TLW. And I played with Bear this week, and that man's macro is wacky, and I think that's the key to beating top lane wonders. And I also think that he's got some pocket things that, by the way, Bear, this is for you. Josh, if you don't let him play the champs that he wants to play, I'm going to personally drive to Ohio and kill you. And you know exactly what champion I'm talking about. You know
There's no fucking way he's playing that champion. It's not good. It's not going to win us the game. It's not going to win us the game.
Spill the beans now.
Well, guess what, Justin? Or fucking Josh? You didn't win any of your games last week either, so you might as well try it.
It wasn't because of the champion that Bear was playing.
You might as well try. Because you got 2-0'd last week.
We have tried it in practices and it doesn't work.
Well, then
I'm going to spill the tea. I'm going to spill the tea. I'm going to spill the tea because I don't care. Soraka ADC is not going to win us a game.
But bro, the Grievous Twins removal is busted. Come on.
If he can win with me at support, playing like I think I played like Darius support when he did it, you can certainly do it playing a real champion. Just hear him out. Anyways, that's my take. Do it.
We've tried it.
Let him do it.
It doesn't work.
My game of the week is Roll versus F5. One of the things that I've been doing a lot, not playing this split, is watching a lot more pro play, and trying to get a better sense of how that works and understanding how the pro players work and all that stuff. And honestly, when I watch F5 and role play, that is close to pro macro and playing like pro that I have seen. Not the same quality. Don't get a big head. All right, don't get a big head. But
no big head. I might draft like a pro coach. I do not play like.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I.
Look, Josh is like, this man let Bear Jr. play Yasuo.
Not just once, but twice.
To be fair, I'm gonna also put that on the team and say they didn't tell me not to.
There is merit to that because freaking Liquid let Closer play fucking Viego twice. So who knows? Even pro players make that mistake. But anyways,
everybody makes mistakes. Everybody has mistakes.
The comps that they've pulled out are great. I think the execution on plays that we don't often see in LCS, like the multiple man dives, the team fight coordination, understanding your go buttons and your peel back options. I think those two teams have the cleanest understanding of that and are the most cohesive in the games that I've watched to this point. You know, like you watch a team like Boom play where maybe their laning phase is better, but the team fights are falling apart. Or you look at a team like Shenanigans, who even though they're the best team in the league, clearly is running through one piece of the puzzle, right? Like they have one player that is sort of getting that game going. I think these two units are cohesive. I think they work well together. I think both teams are looking for a prove-it game. I know there's some contentious matchups in this game, and I think it's going to bring out the best in both sides. So that's my game to watch this week. I have a 1-1. I have it splitting. I'm going to regret that. But I have a 1-1, and if I could give a slight edge to anyone, I'm giving it to F5. Just because I was really, really impressed with how they played last week. It has less to do with role and more to do with just I really like the way F5 played. Little John, Big Peter, Bofa, I'm giving a 2-0 to Bofa. The only reason is Sivan and Kim Peter is a ridiculous matchup, and if Sivan has the better team around him, I don't know what to tell you. The two of them are going to match each other, and they're going to go to the ends of the earth fighting. But if Sivan's team outplays Little John, Big Peter's, which is what I'm expecting, it shouldn't be close. And lastly, I have TSM TLC. I'm on the fence with this one. I got a 1-1 in this game. I think I'm going to regret that decision. But there's just so many what ifs around both of those teams that it's hard to really know with Korn's internet, and was last week a fluke with TSM. Is it because they were playing against Boom? You just it's hard to gauge quite what you're getting there. So I think a 1-1 with the slight edge going to TSM just because, or to TLC just because of experience. Those are my calls for the week.
All right, so there you have it, folks. There are predictions for the weeks. We got players to watch playing the top at Coach Eggboy, Maya, and Sarah Cruz. So you guys,
who won predictions last week?
Okay,
Justin did.
Justin won predictions last week.
Such a whiny.
So once again, Justin starts off to a lead in the Salty Runback predictions free.
Starts off. I won last time.
Yeah, you started off strong. I think you got the first 2 weeks right, and the rest of us didn't get anything right until week 3 or 4.
It was pretty close until the last week. Yeah.
So Justin has a commanding lead over the predictions.
Hey, I'll take it. I got to be good at something. It's definitely not the boomer hands on ADC.
As always. Oh no, go ahead.
I was gonna meme on Justin. That's it.
Do it.
All right, but as always, thanks for watching, guys. Be sure you get your stats turned in on time. I know that was a contentious issue this week. I don't want to hear it. Get your stats turned in. I even reminded my captain he didn't do it on time.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday games.
Friday, Saturday, Sundays. Yes.
Because I don't know if I can make it through another weekend. I really don't.
All right. But that's all we got for you guys. From all of us, and especially my new solo mustache. Have a good night.